What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Elliott Delp, and today we're going to be going over the tools you need in your at-home armory. So it should be a pretty good video, so let's get right into it. So like I said before the intro rolled, I'm going to be going over some tools that I think everybody that has guns, works on guns, builds guns, whatever you may do, should have in your armory or at-home armory. These are things that I think are pretty essential, especially pretty much catering to the AR-15 platform. Just messing around with stuff, I've found it useful to have. I know I did a video a long time ago. I think it's one of my best videos about me replacing a handguard, and I do it with nothing, just tools that I had in my dad's garage at that point in time. And so over the time I've discovered some things are pretty useful to have, some things are useful to go ahead and splurge and spend the money on, and these are some of the things that I've found useful. So if you do find the video useful, for like the 5th time I've said useful, please go hit the like and subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. Alright, so let's get right into it. So the first thing that I think is like the most important thing to have is a punch set. So this little punch set right here, I got it for Christmas. You can find this stuff on Amazon. Harbor Freight carries a lot of this stuff, and to be completely fair, and a little brass hammer. This is a gunsmithing set, and it has, I don't know, I can't do quick math. It has 8 little punches in it. Some are brass. I'm not quite sure what the other material is, maybe steel. And it's very useful. I use probably 3 out of the 8. But the punches are incredibly useful, especially if you're building lower receivers. Well, I guess if you're building an upper, you need a punch too. But for the most part, if you're building lower receivers, a punch set is very useful. You got to put in the bolt catch, you got to put in the trigger guard, stuff like that. So you might want to consider a punch set and a little brass hammer. Second thing, and don't do what I do because I'm a bad example to have, but get you a set of cheap Allen keys. As you can probably tell, these don't have any Allens in them. They're all in this bag because I have taken them out and not put them back and just kind of gotten fed up with them. And if you buy a bunch of stuff like gun parts, some of them will come with Allens, and I just throw them all in this bag and keep it in my gun bag. And yeah, but Allens are incredibly useful just because, I mean, you might need to take a gas block off or something, M-lock pieces, you never know. And Allens are always useful. My hand guards come off with Allens, or some of my hand guards come off with Allens. So, I mean, Allens are very helpful. So, Allens are the second thing that you should have. And the third thing you should have, especially if you're building an AR-15, is, well, you need a vise. But then you need these blocks to put your AR-15 in so that you can securely and effectively place them in the vise. So, for example, this one right here kind of simulates a magazine. This one fits in the lower receiver. You put this part in the vise, and it'll hold your lower receiver up, and it'll allow you to work on it, which is helpful. This one's more helpful than that one, in my opinion. I've built lowers quite often without really needing that one, but this one allows you to put your upper receiver in the vise. So your upper will sit in here. You put both sides in. You vise it down. It gets really tight. You can put your barrel on that way. You can put your handguard on that way. This is really well worth the money. And this stuff's cheap. I'm not really quite sure on the prices of these things, but I bought these at Harbor Freight, the Allens, next to nothing. I bought these, actually came with the next thing on the list, the armorer's wrench, for like 25 bucks. So that's a pretty good deal. So I mean, all this stuff that I have on the table is not very expensive, and if you're going to do a lot of it, it's probably worth an investment. If you're not doing a lot of it, it's probably not worth it, but if you're doing more than one, it definitely is. So moving on to the fourth thing, you have your armorer's wrench. This allows you to do all kinds of stuff. For example, this is where how you do your castle nut. Here on this side, this is to take the barrel nut off on an AR-15. I use this one up here for the flash hider. I'm not quite sure what this one's for, or the next one down. Somebody comment down in the description and tell me what it is. I'm probably missing it, or just stupid. And this one is this middle one right here, I don't know how well you can see it, I'll put it up on the screen, is for the torque. So armorer's wrench is very useful, especially for, like I said, really the castle nut and the flash hider. That's the main thing I use this thing for. I don't really use a lot of barrel nuts that take this type of barrel nut. This is for like the standard barrel nuts that I'm just not a fan of. And then last but not least, if you're doing a lot of trigger swapping, this wheel or trigger pull scale, I find this very useful. This is super simple to use. You can use it, and I think it's probably really hard. It's got just a little spring in it, and it allows you to gauge the amount of pull it takes to set off your trigger, and then you reset it, and you can just keep going and going and going. So that's really useful, especially if you really want to know how much your trigger pulls are, and if you do a lot of videos like me where you have to tell people what trigger pulls are, that one's good for it too. And so this is kind of my comprehensive list on the tools that will help you on your at-home arsenal, just help you along the way, make it a little bit easier. Some things that are important are like torque wrenches. One of those is, I wouldn't say 100% necessary, but it would be nice to have one of those, especially if you're doing a lot of work. Vise, and a lot of different types of grease. But that's not for this video. So I think that about does it. I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching. If you found this video informative or useful, please go hit the like and subscribe button. Consider sharing it, and go leave a comment down below. The comment section is always great. I really appreciate you guys watching. It means the absolute world to me. So I think that about does it. I will see y'all next time. As always, take someone outdoors. Peace.